Hey y'all, if you are new, my name is Marin. Welcome to what I'm hoping is going to be a week in my teacher life. I say hoping because I have not been very good about filming consistently for the last month plus, so we'll see how this week goes. But I am actually starting this on Monday, March 6th, so that right there is a positive. I was actually going to film Friday, and I had picked up my phone and started filming some footage that I ultimately did not use, so I'm gonna go ahead and just input that right here. And then part of the reason why I stopped filming Friday was because I got to thinking that since I was talking about the PBIS celebration that my school was doing on that Friday, I thought it might be kind of helpful or interesting, I guess, if I were to talk more in depth about PBIS and my thoughts on PBIS. So I think I'm gonna just do like a sit down video that's a little bit more scripted so I can make sure I'm hitting like all the points I want to make and kind of give you a rundown of my feelings on PBIS and like the overall change with like student discipline or lack of discipline and just this increase in student behavior. So stay tuned for that. I don't know when exactly I will get to that, but I will be making a video on that because I've had a few people ask about my classroom management, and I feel like I can kind of tie all of that into like one video. So stay tuned. Anyway, yes, it's Monday, March 6th. So it's been a wild one today. If you are not familiar, it is or was a full moon, and y'all, oh my goodness, from the instant the students hit the school today, they have all just been like amped up, loud. There's so much yelling, and not even like in an argument way, just their voice level is like they are just shouting. It is so loud in this building. My students have really been struggling with following procedures and directions, so not a great way to start Monday, but we've made it through. They are at specials. It is 2:02. I was actually supposed to be sitting in on an IEP for a student in a self-contained classroom, a kindergarten student in a self-contained classroom, but that was postponed. So now I actually get some plan time, which I was not expecting. So let me kind of talk you through what I am thinking for this week. So first of all, we are officially on addition and subtraction in Eureka. We are composing and decomposing numbers. So right now we have done numbers 1 through 6. Today was number 6. So that's our math, composing and decomposing numbers. I am having mine write number sentences out, but yes, we are working on that. And they have been doing pretty good. We've been using number bonds as like the visual, but we have also been writing the number sentences. So that's going well. So that was math. That's going to continue. This whole module is composing and decomposing numbers, and today was lesson 7. So I'm going to jot down the remainder of math for this week just to kind of make sure I know what I'm doing. I also am going to be doing some sequencing activities with nursery rhymes because we are taking our final Galileo test, I believe, starting next week with math. And something that they really struggled with on the first test was sequencing a nursery rhyme. So the nursery rhyme that they had given them was Humpty Dumpty. So I found a pack on TPT of just a whole bunch of sequencing activities for different nursery rhymes, and we're just going to do like one of those a day until we've done all of them. So I need to copy those. So this week we will cover Little Bo Peep, Little Boy Blue, Little Miss Muffet, and Mary Had a Little Lamb. No, I did not intend to do all of the littles in order like that, but that's how they were in the pack. So we're just gonna roll with it. That's what we're gonna do. Little Miss Muffet might be the one on the Galileo test, so I do wanna make sure I'm getting to that one soon. Also included in there, row, row, row your boat, hickory dickory dock, Humpty Dumpty, hey diddle diddle, itsy bitsy spider. and then Baa Baa, Black Sheep, Jack and Jill, and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So that's what's included in the packet. I'll link it down below if you'd like to check it out, but I just liked that it was very simple. We can read the nursery rhyme several times, look for sight words, and then sequence the story with cutting and gluing. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna print all of those off. I had also purchased a pack called Goose on the Loose, Fun with Nursery Rhymes, that I bought years ago, like 2012. Because at that point I was in the library, so I used a lot of these with my younger students in the library. At that point it was K through 6, so my K1 and 2s were doing some nursery rhyme stuff, because I've found that the students just are not very familiar with what we would consider familiar text, so I like to introduce those. So I think we're also just going to kind of print those off and have those as well. So lots of printing to do. I'm going to go ahead and print those out. Write down the math. As I said, today was lesson 7, so that's what we've got. I do have an IEP this week on Wednesday on the 8th. We have PLC on the 9th. Tomorrow morning is my Lego club, so that's why I'm kind of glad that I'm actually getting this footage started in a timely fashion, because I am not super great about filming and getting things started. So that's where we are, y'all. I don't really have anything else to say at this point. I am going to make these copies and then we'll kind of just play it by ear. Honestly, I might just chill because it's been a bit of a rough day so far. So yeah, let's go ahead, make some copies, and if I have something else to say, I will chat with you about it later. Okay, here's the remnants of what I managed to get copied. I did not get everything done, so I will finish the rest tomorrow. Hello y'all, happy Tuesday. It is actually 3:37. I'm about to pick my students up from specials. Today's been a day with a capital D. It's been very rough. There is truth to the whole full moon thing. There really is. Yesterday was rough. Today's been rough. I'm just having some behaviors from students that typically have not had these types of behaviors. So we've had to do a lot of like revisiting expectations, things like that. We've made it through most of Tuesday because we dismiss right after I pick them up. So sometimes all you can do on your plan time is lock your door and have a snack. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have my door locked. I'm gonna just take a few minutes to decompress, because dismissal is always kind of a struggle too, especially on Tuesdays, because we actually are short-staffed on Tuesdays because some of our specialists travel to a different building. So I'm gonna just prepare for dismissal. We have 5 minutes left of specials, but it's definitely been a rough one. So this morning was Lego Club. As I'd mentioned, we have that every Tuesday morning. And we just finished doing everything with the My XL World Duplo kit from Lego for Education. So I'll leave a link down below to what I'm talking about. And then here's a picture of like Rainbow Town. This is the town that they designed, and we drew the map out and things like that and laid out all of the things that we built. And today was like the final hurrah for Rainbow Town. So next week we will start working with the Steam Park kit, which also has some lessons and should be lots of fun. So that's what the day started with, and that was very fun. Lego Club is a lot of fun. They have a very good time, and it's very fun just to spend that morning with them. But the rest of the day has definitely been a struggle. So I'm gonna stop talking, eat my snack, pick my students up, and then we're gonna go home because today was a day. And tomorrow I do have a staff meeting, so I don't know that I will be able to film before school starts. We'll play that by ear. I also have an IEP during my plan time, so there may not be much footage on Wednesday, but we'll try our best. And that's about all we've got, y'all. That's about all I've got. So I will chat with you again at some point, and hopefully I will be able to talk about a better overall day, because Tuesday today was not it, y'all. It's just not it. So if you are also riding the struggle bus, know you are not alone. I'm right there with you. So we'll cross our fingers that tomorrow will be a better day. Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. We actually only had like a 20-minute staff meeting this morning because our principal gave us time to like work in our classrooms and make sure we're organized and ready, which was nice. The reason for it was not so nice because apparently upper administration have been saying that some teachers' classrooms are messy and need to be cleaned up, and basically blaming the environment for some of our students' behaviors. So I have a lot of not so nice feelings about that. Just the nerve of people who have never been in a classroom in some cases, or have not been in a classroom for literal decades, telling teachers that they need to fix their environment just doesn't sit well with me. So that was not a great thing to hear. My classroom is very put together, but people function in different ways, and I just think it's not anyone's place to say that some teachers have to do things differently. So anyway, off my soapbox, but we did get time in our rooms, which was nice because I was able to organize a couple of things that I had been kind of putting off. So for instance, our principal ordered us new whiteboards, new whiteboard erasers, new markers, which was very nice because I know that not all schools are lucky enough to have administration that supports teachers in that way. I had purchased whiteboards myself, like at the start of the year, but some of them have gotten broken, just general use. They weren't the best quality whiteboards, so just general use, kind of some of the kids like accidentally snapped them in half, like they were pretty cheap whiteboards. So it's nice to have some new ones because I can give those students some new whiteboards. And then I also just kind of straightened up a couple of things that I'd had laying around that I was meaning to like take care of. So I was able to do that. It's 9:02, so the bell is getting ready to ring in 3 minutes, but I am going to give every student a new eraser for their whiteboard, and I'm going to write their number on it so that they're not arguing over whose is whose. That's just a tip. The previous erasers that I had, I couldn't do that because they were just like the felt, so there was nothing to write on. So this one I'm going to go ahead and number. Every student's going to get a new eraser for their whiteboard pouch, and then I am going to switch out a couple of students' whiteboards that have gotten broken. So yeah, they will get some new goodies today. I am really hoping that our behavior today will be better. Yesterday was very rough, as I'd mentioned, so hopefully we will do better. It also was raining outside, but I think it has stopped. So fingers crossed they get to go outside for recess. It's a little bit chillier today, but it is always better if they can go outside and run around. So let me finish getting some stuff together and then they're going to be here. So really quickly, I always put something up on the smartboard when my students come in. So I will give you a glimpse of that. You've seen it in previous vlogs. So let me kind of walk you over, but it basically explains like the procedures that I want them to follow as they come in. So let me kind of flip you around and show you what that looks like. So I do have music playing, as you can hear, and then this is the screen that they see when they come in. It just kind of lays out what I need them to do in the morning as they come in. So just a tip, I am a big believer in visuals, so this is very helpful for my students because I can just reference it, make sure you're following direction number 5, number 2, whatever it may be. So just a tip in case you are looking to change up your morning routine. Hey y'all, happy Friday. It's actually the end of the day. It's 4:40, so I am getting ready to head out of here. Dismissal's done, but I had some things that I needed to copy for next week just to be prepared, so I will just run you through that real fast. I am redoing some of my students' login cards. I'm just making like a class set, so I'm gonna put them on a ring, and then for when they can't find their login card, they can just come grab their card out of here. I'm going to get them laminated and all that. So I had to print off the new QR codes for that. Next week, we are going to review opposites. So I found a little freebie activity here. I found a bunch of worksheets because we are prepping for our Galileo benchmark. This is the final benchmark of the year. So the goal is for students to show growth. So I'm going to go back over some things we have been talking about throughout the year, just to kind of refresh their memory. So I've got some opposite stuff. I've got some rhyming activities. I have some beginning and ending sounds. And I have, that's it. Sorry, that's it. We've also been working on sequencing nursery rhymes, but I've already talked about that, I believe, previously in this vlog. I also created a sheet to give or send home to families when their students do not earn Fun Friday time. So if you see, it says Fun Friday reflection sheet, and I just said your child did not earn Fun Friday this week. They struggled with the following trait, because it's our PBIS trait, so SPRCK. I've listed them out. I'm going to circle the one that they had trouble with, or ones plural. Please review the information below. I am asking that you please speak with your student regarding their choices this week and set a goal to help them be more successful next week. Please sign and return this form to show you've received this. And then I do have a spot at the bottom for a parent signature. And then my comments, I'll ask the students what they think the problem was, and I'll write down everything they say, make a copy for myself, and send it home, because I am struggling with an uptick in behaviors. And I know that a lot of these behaviors are because I have a student with very extreme behaviors in my classroom, and unfortunately some of my other ones have decided that that is the student that they want to emulate, which is not great. So let me grab paper clips so that I can multitask while I'm talking to you. So yes, that's not been fantastic in the slightest. This was a very rough week. I talked about that a little bit like throughout the week. It was just not a great week. However, today was a really great day. I was missing 6 students though, but 2 of them were 2 of my biggest behaviors. So it brought the behaviors down to a much more manageable level, which meant that I was really only dealing with like 1 extreme behavior, because the other behaviors, surprise, surprise, were less of an issue because my biggest behavior was not here today. So that's the reality. That's the struggle that I am dealing with right now. And we're gonna have to just write it out, because there is nothing that any of us can do about this. It just, unfortunately, it is what it is. I don't always love that saying, but it is what it is. There's nothing that any of us can do. Our hands are tied by the district discipline code. Our hands are tied by upper administration, who haven't been in the classroom in some cases for a very, 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 very long time. So it's very frustrating, but as I said, not anything we can do about it. So at least I had a great end to the week, because this was a rough one. It was just a very long week. I don't know if anybody else felt that same way. Very, very long week. So to end on a high note was quite nice. Now, the reason I am coming to you at 4:44 instead of earlier in the day is because I needed to sit in on an IEP, and that IEP took an hour and a half to be finished, because it is a student that receives extensive services. They needed a Gen Ed representative to sit in on the IEP, and I was the one chosen. So because of that, I asked an aide to pick my students up from specials, and then the aide took them outside for a recess. When I got outside, they lined up, we came back in, we packed up, and then I gave my students who had a good week Fun Friday time. And the ones that consistently struggled this week, which are those behaviors I was already mentioning, got to sit and watch the other friends play with Play-Doh. And they're always asking to play with Play-Doh. So that was quite upsetting for particularly one of them. But we make our choices. Our choices have consequences. Some are good, some are bad. And in this case, the consequence was they didn't get Play-Doh time. So hopefully that will get them thinking a little bit more for next week. And hopefully we can have a decent week. But we will play it by ear. Obviously, it's out of my control. But hopefully they will do some reflecting, and we'll have a better week next week. We have 2 more full weeks before spring break, and y'all, it's gonna be a struggle. So I am gonna say up front, I do not know how many Week in My Teacher Life videos I will do this month. Obviously, I have 2 weeks before spring break, but I do have some other videos that I would like to film and share with you instead of like a Week in My Teacher Life. So this could be the only one for March. We'll see, because I would like to bring you one about my behavior management, especially now that I'm tweaking some things because we are struggling with behavior. And I kind of can use that video to talk through my thought process. And then I also have had some requests to talk about things like my schedule, maybe like a planning video, that kind of thing. I also need to film my check-in for my teacher goal video that I did earlier in the year. I'll link that above if you want to check it out. But so yes, lots of things that I can film, but they require me to like sit down. So we will just see what I managed to find time to do. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this vlog. Hopefully you enjoyed. I apologize that I did not get a ton of footage on some of the days, like I didn't film it all yesterday. But yes, on that note, we'll just play everything by ear. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. And I will see you in my next one. Bye everyone.